And welcome to Legal Matters with Crosby Law Firm. I'm your host, Alan Jones, and with me this evening is attorney Michael Crosby with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters is an informational and news call-in show devoted to legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. There are attorneys standing by right now to take your telephone call at the number on your screen. That's 815-397-2006. They'll provide you with free information on your issue, so call now and do so throughout the next hour. Tonight's opening statement. In our first segment tonight, we'll talk about domestic abuse. In our second segment, we'll continue our popular You Want to Know question and answer segment, devoted to questions posed by you, the viewer, by way of telephone calls, emails, texts, and tweets that have been received. But before we start tonight, let's take time to remind you of the practice areas that the Crosby Law Firm concentrates in. The Crosby Law Firm has a Center for Divorce and Family Law, an auto accident, injury, and Social Security Disability Department, a Bankruptcy Institute, an office for DUI, traffic, and criminal defense, an Advanced Care Plan and Probate Center, a division for real estate and business matters, and a Department for Immigration and Naturalization Services. So please feel free to call tonight and discuss any of these practice areas with the attorney standing by. So, Mike, I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be with you and to talk about some of the legal matters that are affecting many people in the area and talk about Crosby Law Firm as well.
Well, welcome aboard, Alan. This is our second year of Legal Matters, and you and I go back probably 15 to 20 years when there was an interview right here on this set on newsworthy issues coming out of the legal profession. And that's kind of the genesis for this show. And so I welcome you back. You're an icon in our community, contributing to the news profession and to the community in general. And I think it's going to be a great show, and I'm glad to have you as our host.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure, and we have a lot of good information to get across to people tonight.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Well, then let's get started. So we were talking before the show that this is Domestic Awareness Month, and that there was a recent article in the Rockford Register-Star about the incidences in Winnebago County of the domestic abuse and the numbers involved with that. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and how Crosby Law Firm looks at that problem?
It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and to commemorate it, both you and I have our purple ribbons on our lapel. Purple stands for the abuse that some people in our community have been subjected to because of domestic abuse. Our circuit, the 17th Judicial Circuit here in Illinois, comprised of Winnebago County and Boone County, are in the forefront of addressing domestic abuse issues. As the newspaper article that you alluded to, I've got a copy right here for today's show. In 2013, the Rockford Police Department had over 800 arrests connected to domestic abuse. Our office does a lot of work relating to domestic abuse, and because of the month and because of the article and the forefront of our judicial court, I thought it was appropriate to have a conversation today about some of those issues.
Well, it obviously is in the forefront of a lot of information, and a lot of news has come out of domestic abuse. Primarily, of course, the big stories are within the NFL. Talk about that a little bit and those particular issues. Sure. and what you're facing.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. In addition to the newspaper article that was kind of timely with this, as most of us know, in the NFL, Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, a number of other professional football players have allegedly caused domestic abuse, been arrested for it. It's a serious issue. Their celebrity status kind of brings it to the forefront. But suffer no illusions, it's just not celebrities. It's across our society. I think it kind of goes back to Adam and Eve when we make choices, and sometimes bad choices, and we commit sin. And so domestic abuse is a sin. And it's an act of violence against a spouse, a loved one, friend or relative. Those are the intimate kinds of domestic abuse. There are, of course, of others, but those are the ones that we're focused on today, no question.
And that's always difficult. You see a relationship and you believe that there's caring and love in that relationship, and only to find out later that there's great abuse going on in that as well. It's difficult to face, like you said, in any relationship, whether it be a celebrity relationship or not.
Absolutely. And it can be loving relationships where people have some serious anger management issues. In our office, we're confronted with domestic abuse cases on a large scale, and it has a rippling effect. We'll see it with divorce work. We'll see it in paternity cases where there's a boyfriend, girlfriend, and there's abuse, and so the relationship breaks up and there's children involved. We'll see it in criminal defense cases where we're representing the alleged assailant. And in many cases, the assailants are guilty. They've done this. In other cases, they're not guilty. Harken back to the Duke lacrosse team from years ago, where a number of those players were accused of inappropriate conduct, and lo and behold, it wasn't accurate. So in our office, it's across the board. We have a family law department, so we see it in our divorce work, our DCFS work, our paternity work, custody, grandparent rights. Lots of grandparents come to us because they've got a child, a husband, a wife who have children, and that whole unit is affected by domestic abuse, and the grandparents want to know what their role can be. We also see it in our criminal defense work, where we're asked to represent someone who's been accused of that. So this issue of domestic violence touches our office across the board, and I would encourage the viewers to give us a call. We'll be happy to address their questions and answer their concerns regarding these issues.
Well, let's talk about some of the tools that can protect those victims of domestic abuse. Talk about, I guess, an order of protection is probably the most common. It's not a brick wall by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't always do what it's supposed to do.
No, that's true. It is a place to start. When we visit with clients who are victims of domestic abuse, it might evolve into a divorce case. It may evolve into a paternity case. And in many of those cases, we'll take a look at the merits of securing a order of protection from the court, which is what we call an ex parte communication with the court. It's one-sided. It's the victim coming down with our law firm communicating to the judge the concerns and what's happened and why we think an order of protection is merited. So that's one of the remedies, stopgap, short-term interim remedies that we'll look at in protecting the abuse victim.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. And again, as a reminder, please call the number on your screen and get some information from lawyers who are standing by to take your question. When we come back, we'll have a look at some quick You Want to Know answers coming up in just a moment. And welcome back. In response to the enormous support and thousands of telephone calls and positive feedback from the viewers in connection with the Legal Matters Show, we're continuing our rapid-fire question and answer segment called You Want to Know. Now, in an effort to protect viewer confidentiality, please understand we're only using first names, and we may alter the location of the viewer and the nature of the question somewhat. So we'll get to that. Just as a reminder, please call the number on your screen at 815-397-2006. Attorneys are standing by with any and all questions you might have, not just the ones particular to this show, but any and all legal questions you may have for those of the Crosby Law Firm. Call that number and you'll get a quick response. All right, the first question tonight comes from John in Rockford. He writes, how do I know I have found the right lawyer for me?
Very good question from John, Alan. Most folks go through their entire adult life and they may visit with a lawyer 1, 2, perhaps as many as 3 times in their life, but certainly not year in and year out. So it's critical that you find a law firm, an attorney that you can trust, that you have a good working relationship with. In our firm, it's local roots, lasting strength. This is my hometown. Been doing this for over 35 years. We have 8 lawyers in our office and bring to the table well over 100 years of experience. It's important that we provide to our clients an initial free consultation. Most of the folks that visit with us, anxiety-ridden, fear-driven, have some serious issues. They need an opportunity to visit with us at no charge. That's part of our community outreach, the Crosby Law Firm Initiative. So I encourage all the clients out there and the viewers out there to give us a call. We'll be happy to address their questions. When they come in and visit with us, once we've diagnosed their problem, we'll provide them typically with a flat fee. If we're dealing with auto accidents, we don't get paid unless there's a recovery. On all the other areas of law, it's a flat fee. Most law firms charge by the hour. Very difficult for you to know where you stand if you're getting an hourly bill. Every time you call the lawyer, there's a 5-minute phone call, there's a bill. A 2-paragraph letter written by the lawyer, there's a bill. Our office, flat charge, you know how to budget. On occasion, for those that aren't able to meet the flat fee requirement, we'll take a look at payment plans for our clients as well. So this is what we do. We're a consumer-oriented law firm trying to devote time, energy to helping folks like the viewers out there to solve their problem, whether it be divorce, DUI, bankruptcy, so forth and so on.
And at a time like that, that's always good information to know.
Absolutely. And you, as I'm telling John out there, you've got to find a law firm that can relate to you, that you can trust.
Okay. Next to our second question. This is Dennis in Winnebago. He wants to know, I can't pay my bills. I've got creditors calling. I know I need to rearrange my life and live within my means, but I don't know what to do. Can your office buy me some time?
More than likely, Dennis's issues may lead to a bankruptcy. In our office, we provide, again, a free consultation, giving us a chance to diagnose his issues, sort out whether we think he may be a candidate for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, or perhaps something short of a bankruptcy that we commonly refer to as a voluntary workout, where we attempt to negotiate with his creditors, realign the monthly payments to help him with his monthly cash flow. These are desperate times, and we're still suffering the after effects of a very serious recession. Our office does a substantial amount of bankruptcy work, helping clients solve their credit issues, their debt issues. So I would encourage the viewers to give us a call. We'll be happy to take a look at that. That's what we do.
And the next question comes from Sam in Rockford. He says, I was in an auto accident 4 months ago, still dealing with it physically and mentally. Is it too late now to press charges and file a claim?
Well, press charges connotes kind of criminal activity. So we're going to talk about filing the claim. In our state, when there's an accident, you've suffered injury, you have 2 years from the date of the accident typically to file a lawsuit or to file a claim. We do a lot of auto accident work, a lot of motorcycle accident work, representing plaintiffs who suffer injury. Whether they're $5,000 cases or $1 million cases, we've been at it for 35 years and we've represented the gamut. So I would encourage the caller to give us a call regarding his accident. It's not too late. We'll be happy to take a look at the nature of his injury, the cause and effect of the accident, so forth and so on.
Okay, and that number again, just as a reminder, is 815-397-2006. That's the number to call right there. Well, the next question is from Kelly in Rockford. She's thinking of getting in the business of flipping houses, which is a very prominent business, it seems, these days. What do you think of home flipping, and can your firm help me from making any mistakes?
Well, there's two parts to that issue. One is representing Kelly in the purchase or sale of homes. That's a real estate transaction. A significant portion of our practice is devoted to representing sellers and buyers regarding house sales. The flipping part is her business motive. We incorporate a lot of small businesses, whether it be a small manufacturing concern, a small service business of some sort, or someone like Kelly who's investing in buying and selling homes. I would counsel the Kellys of the world of the merits of incorporating. It might be a limited liability corporation, it may be a sub-S corporation. So I'd encourage Kelly to come on in or give us a call. We'll be happy to visit with her about the nature of her business. Sure.
Okay, a lot of great information there, Mike. Thank you very much for all of that. And that's all we have time for Michael Crosby. And to the folks at home, be sure and stick with us. Mark Brennison from the American Law Firm is up next. Be sure and call 815-397-2006 to get your legal question answered. We'll be right back.